So I'm Brother Loarne, and I left my family to join the order 30 years ago. I grew up in Gloucestershire, and the friary where we were sent to, the friary that welcomed postulants was in Peckham, so Delboy, etc. And I spent my first year in Peckham. When I look back over my life as a friar, I suppose the things that I've enjoyed the most are ones that I've done with other friars. I love doing things together as a community, and one of the things, I think probably, one of the things anyway that I've enjoyed most is when I was based at Pantasif, and we had something called the Prayer Festival. It was called the Little Portion Prayer Festival, named after the Porziuncula in Assisi. And basically it was a real old-fashioned big circus tent, stripy tent, and benches inside, and we kind of made the inside like a chapel. And we had mass in this big tent, we had events outside, we had people camping, kids playing, and we had lots of different friars speaking, ministering the sacraments, guests coming in, live music, and right at the heart of it, the whole way through, we had the Blessed Sacrament exposed. So it was a 40 hours experience, day and night. So if you've ever done camping and the weather's not that great, and it's your turn to wake up in the middle of the night to go and adore the Blessed Sacrament, that's quite sacrificial. And but the result of it was so deep. And I remember we had this guy who used to wander around the grounds of Pantasif, and he was just a photographer from down in Holywell, and nice guy, wasn't a Catholic. I think he was vaguely Christian, but one day I saw him in the courtyard, and I didn't know him that well, but because I'm a kind of a sensitive, gentle, polite kind of person, I just pointed at him and shouted across the courtyard. I said, "God wants you to take the photos for our prayer festival." And he went, "Really?" I said, "Yes." And he did. He took the prayer festival photos, and he had never really experienced the presence of Christ in the Eucharist before. And he was hanging around the whole time, taking photos. I didn't have to say anything to him. He just got on with it. He was a professional, very good photographer. And at the end of it, he said, "I've got all your photos. I think you're going to be really pleased. They're excellent quality, high definition." He said, "But I've got one question I need to ask you." I said, "Sure." He said, "What's that water biscuit on the altar?" He said, "It's zinging, man." He said, "There's something coming off it." He said, "I can feel it." I said, "Well, that is Jesus' body and blood. What you can feel is the real presence." And he said, "Whoa," he said, I can't get over it." So I'm telling you that story because it's a little example of the things that happened during the prayer festival. And being in an atmosphere like that was one of my greatest joys. I love seeing people come to life, really real life. I want to tell a story about my novice master, Stephen de Kerdrell, who is a real character, very plummy, and he was a don't you know, yes, lesser French aristocracy. And I used to love listening to Brother Michael Hagen teasing him because Michael, you know, he's from a northeastern background, would see himself as working class, and Stephen saw himself as upper class. So the two kind of ping-ponging off each other was great. But he was a really good novice master, and I will always be grateful for him. He, one story, he sat my fellow novice and myself down. There were two of us at the coffee table when we're having a break in the morning. And he said, brothers, what animal are you? And we're just like, what's he talking about? He said, well, not what animal would you like to be, but what animal are you? Which one most represents who you are? So I was just like, well, I couldn't answer that for myself, but I knew immediately from my fellow novice he was obviously a rhinoceros. And that wasn't the right answer. So we kind of laughed about it and teased each other, and we started to get sensible about it. And I was quite good at helping the others with finding their animal. And I couldn't think of anything for myself. And there was this big, long silence. And Stephen said, I've got it. Loarne, you're a heron. And I said, really? I said, I like herons. I think herons are beautiful. He said, you stand very still in the water, and when you see a flash of silver, you strike. I said, ooh, that sounds good. And the funny thing was that from that time, I really saw herons quite a lot. And you don't see them that often. I never used to see them before. I don't know if it's just because he said that and I became more conscious. Anyway, whatever it was, that stayed with me, and I felt that he saw each person as the unique person that they are, and I felt that he saw me as that, and that I'm always grateful for that.